How's it going?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
You
Just a
need to
little.
clarify something, apparently.
Yeah, I do actually. Valkyrie. I'm in the Cool Kids Club. The person who runs it and the majority of the people on there are people of color. You were not booted from the server because we were afraid that you were recording things that we were keeping in secret because we were doing some anti-Jewish stuff. There are several Jewish people in the server, actually. We actually asked that you be removed because people were sharing their trauma and their dead names, and you were recording it without our permission. So that's why you were removed from the server. There was no mustache people stuff going on in that server, full of the majority of them people of color. I am appalled that you would think to go on a panel and think that nobody on here would know what you were talking about. We have nothing to do with Muppet or any of the GCs. I think it's absolutely abhorrent that you would even suggest that a bunch of trans folk who work within the trans
Is this a
community.
different server?
Yeah, it's not Muppet server. We have nothing
I'm
to do with
talking
Muppet
about a
server.
different
It
server.
is a bunch of trans folk who Valkyrie had said was in the Cool Kids Club and had accused of being not mustache people and something about minors. I don't know. I have it recorded. I can play it all back for you later. But Valkyrie, I want to know what you thought that you were going to accomplish by smearing a bunch of um,
Wasn't
people
talking
in that
about
server.
your grouping.
You were, because I was in that server and I
No.
was on that Discord call when you were recording people who were sharing their trauma and their unalived
So,
names.
believe it or not, again, I state no. And you never
You
let me clarify. Instead, you removed me before I could. And
we
that's
didn't
not the
want you to
guild I was
clarify.
talking about.
Yeah,
That was
it
not the
was.
grouping I was talking
Yes,
about.
it was.
No.
I have the live where you just said that it was the Cool Kids Club and you gave the exact incident because I know because I was on that phone call with a bunch of other people where you were recording our trauma and our unalived names, and you just said that you posted it on your other friend's account and got somebody who was still in there. I heard you. I was in the audience. I recorded it. So if you'd like to lie about it, I can play back the video. Would you like to do that? You can hear me yell in the background, "Hell no, that wasn't us." But, I can play all I think 20 minutes that I recorded it. How dare you? I may not get along with everybody up on this panel at all, but none of them would ever accuse me of being a mustache person, for one, and for two, of doing something inappropriate with a minor. That is absolutely disgusting that you would accuse or even suggest that anybody in a marginalized group, especially
My
a
apologies.
group of no of marginalized people, and you would suggest that. That's horrible.
Yeah, because that's clearly not the group that we were talking about there, Valkyrie. The group that we were talking about specifically was Christy Muppet, and Nate, and that would not have been in a trans-friendly server.
So Puck and panel, you can do what you would like with Valkyrie. I just wanted to clear that up. In absolutely no way that that server, and I didn't name it. I'm white. There is no way in hell that I would have named the server that. And it took Katie a little bit to convince me to actually join it because I didn't like the optics. But hey, um, it's her server, and it's mostly indigenous black and brown folk. I'm one of the very few YT people in there, but I will be damned if I sit in an audience and let you slander them. Not gonna happen.
Trunkle.
So
Uh, Can I just
Yeah,
ask, because I'm just like literally a bystander in all of
sure.
this, but I want to make sure that I understand what's going on. Because I was here earlier, they were talking about some server, and
Yes.
then Val was like trying to figure out, is this the same with Ipsiety, I think? And it was like, and there were some back and forth. Was this the same thing? And
Right.
then another guy was like, this is boring. So, like,
Right.
I'm guess I'm asking, is this a misunderstanding, or was
Sh-
Val in y'all's server recording stuff? Because I
Val
don't
was
like.
in our server, in a trans server. There are. I'm trying to think of, is there any cis people in that server? I don't think so, but don't quote me, I could be wrong. There might be an odd one. It is 90%, I will say, to err on the side of caution, trans folk. And I caught somebody recording because it came up on the screen, and we were like, well, hang on a second, who would do that? When we were on an emotional call, it wasn't like we were just shooting the shit. I think somebody was like seriously emoting something. Somebody had said their unalive name, and I was like, I'm not comfortable with this. And all of us were like, well, wait a second. Yeah, no, that's not cool. Who goes into a server and does that? And they tried to give
Yeah.
us an excuse, and I was like, we'll figure this out in a minute. And we voted, and like, nah, that's not cool to do. Like, I would never go on a private server and do something like that. And there's ways to record a conversation and whatever without it automatically popping up and whatever. Like, it was really weird. It was really uncomfortable. And that's why I recognize what she was talking about. But for her to say that she had shared our server information and reported it and whatever, that's what she was talking about, was her getting kicked out of our server.
Mm. Oh,
So I just
wow.
wanted to come up and make sure that y'all knew that that definitely wasn't us. I don't get along with everybody up here, but I sure as hell wouldn't make false accusations like that about anybody. I appreciate it. I apologize for railroading your live and taking over, but I just wanted to make sure that
Either
um
way, uh, either way, their packs. That was something that did need to be clarified,
yeah, thank you.
because when we're looking at information specifically, and the transfer of criminal behavior over to a server that wasn't involved does need to be clarified.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Because
Um,
that's like the opposite kind of community. Like you're talking about the
yeah,
community
yeah.
that is the polar opposite of
Uh
whatever
huh.
we were talking about with Muppet and
Uh huh.
Nate and whoever else. So that's an entirely different from y'all.
Yep. No, no, I get it. I get it. And that's why I was like, wait a second. Why is she bringing the Cool Kids Club on it? Like, and I was like, no way, no way. And then she started spouting off the exact same, and I was like, this is her. Oh my god, this is the person who we removed for, like, and I'm not even a mod in that server, who got removed for recording our conversation, and it was when somebody was sharing their trauma and stuff. Like, gross.
I
Like,
have a question too, real quick, with
sure,
Discord. Was that an automatic setting that you
it
guys
was an
got
automatic
notified?
setting.
Because I have a
Yeah,
server and I want to make sure that nobody shares anything. So, was that because it was a voice chat?
it was a voice chat, and it's an automatic setting that you can put on your Discord that comes up that warns people. However, you can record and do like a screen recording on your own personal device, and it won't tell you.
Yeah.
There, like,
Yeah, because you can go on top of the app.
yeah, right. And so we were all like, wait a second, why would you come in here and like record, especially when it's in like a trans server, and people were on a voice chat, and there was legitimately people sharing trauma, and somebody had said their unalive name, and they're like, oh, we don't care, and I was like, well, I do. I do. I don't want anybody bloody stuff shared out there. Like that's just gross. I don't do that.
Yeah, I mean,
So
my unalive name, for example, I hate thinking about it, and if someone brought it up and they jedzenie
right,
jakieś.
Ale Zenia,
right.
a ty co? Na którą godzinę się umówiłaś?
Muszę się jeszcze zapytać, no bo w sumie to umówiliśmy się już co robimy, ale jeszcze godzinę to może
No bo pamiętaj, że później idziesz na niemiecki, na
może
przyszłe.
być 13.
Co?
Może być 13.
I appreciate your time. I just wanted to take care of that and make sure that y'all knew that that wasn't KT's server and that wasn't us. And F Nate, cause ew, like that. I don't like that guy. That was my biggest issue with him, that he lied and got into women's spaces, and despite the fact that he's a poor debater and a grifter. I don't like what he did to a bunch of women, so
This is not Nate debates, is it?
no,
Right,
it's
Dave's off the
Edna
planet.
Mode. Yeah, you recognize her to this year. She's very distinctive, or he's very distinctive. Anyhow, I'm gonna go to bed because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning for me. I just was cruising TikTok and thought that I'd come in. Again, Puck, I apologize for railroading it, and Laz, thank you for allowing me up, and Puck, thank you for allowing me up. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Be safe, Pax.
Okay.
You too. You too.